In this video, I'm going to provide some additional information on a literature review and what exactly that is and why we write literature reviews. As you think about the topic for your literature review, I would encourage you to pick something that you're interested in and use this literature review assignment as an opportunity to become kind of an expert in that topic. So in this brief video, I'm going to talk about what is a literature review and also the expectations for the literature review in this course. By this point in your education, you probably know what a literature review is, but I want to remind you that it's really a summary of published research that exists on a specific topic. This Cresswell quote defines it as a written summary of articles, books, and other documents that describe the past and current state of knowledge about a topic. For your literature review, you're really going to want to focus on published research articles. In terms of literature review, we typically have specific parameters. So we have a specific population we might be looking at, a specific topic and research question, and then maybe we have also some criteria in terms of the years that we're looking at. We often define that as research done within the last 10 years, but that might differ depending on your research question. So the general purpose of a literature review is really to direct our thinking on a specific research question. It's partially how we think about developing a research question. It places the topic in historical perspective. It identifies appropriate methodology for conducting research. So if you think about a literature review and why it's so important to do this before you set out to conduct a research study, that methodology piece is really, really important. We don't want to recreate the wheel with creating questions to assess variables when there's validated instruments that already exist on that given topic. So let's say, for example, you were doing a literature review that looks at a research question, is there an association between sleep and obesity in a given population? You would then see from the literature that you reviewed that the Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index is a validated tool that is used in most research studies to assess sleep quality. If you didn't review the literature, you might not know that, and you might come up with a flawed methodology that wouldn't align with existing research. It also helps refine research questions. So maybe after we review the literature, maybe we refine our research question based on what's known. You may find that a health issue has only been studied in a very specific population. So if you're going to conduct future research, it helps you shift your focus to other specific populations that maybe haven't been studied yet. It allows you to see how past research has contributed to the current state of knowledge about a topic, and it provides an explanation of the practice of significance of the study of the topic. So it helps you kind of avoid repeating studies that have already been done, and it makes sure that you're conducting novel studies, which is really important. If you're trying to secure funding and you want people to take your research seriously, you don't want to be repeating things that have already been done in the past. The purpose of your literature review paper is to demonstrate that you have the ability to effectively search, locate, and select appropriate and relevant reference material. As someone graduating with a degree in public health, you should be able to do that. Demonstrate that you have the ability to analyze, synthesize, and summarize the available literature for your chosen topic. Demonstrate that you have the ability to review the literature and write a comprehensive and up-to-date review of the topic, and demonstrate that you have a thorough command of the topic you are studying. So definitely pick something that you're interested in because you're going to become quite the expert on that topic. So picking a topic can be kind of a challenging thing. A couple things to consider is picking something that you're interested in and you have some sort of enthusiasm for. Don't pick something that you find completely boring, but find something that you won't dread writing about all quarter. Remember and think about the time required to obtain and review relevant literature. So don't pick something that's so obscure that it's going to take you 3 weeks to find articles on that given topic. But the other side that's also a challenge is that you don't want to pick something that's so broad that there's so many articles that you can't possibly finish. So the challenge is to pick something that's not too narrow, but not something that's not too broad either. So think about the cost of your personal investment and effort in the project. Think about when you're thinking about something that might be too broad. So for an example of this might be general healthy eating and depression. So general healthy eating is like a really, really broad topic. You want to identify something very specific. So maybe you're interested in a very specific diet and how that diet is related to depression in a given population. Make sure that it's a product topic that you can actually finish. You only have 10 weeks and you have to follow a timeline. So you don't want something that's just overwhelming and too broad, and it's not so complex that you're trying to learn all the terminology as you go along. Pick something that you have maybe a little bit of familiarity with, but you're excited to learn more about. So thinking about defining your topic for your literature review, you want to think about the nature of the topic or the issue or problem. Think about, can it be explained? Think about the scope of the problem, specifically what is the burden of that given topic? How many people are affected or influenced by that topic? Think about the range of issues that fall under that topic. How many relevant issues can reasonably be addressed in your literature review assignment for that topic? Think about the context of the problem. You want to make sure that you narrow down your focus and think about the who, what, where, and when. So think broadly about your topic and then you can refine it. So for example, maybe I'm really interested in childhood obesity. That's a really, really broad topic. A way that I could narrow this down by is maybe looking specifically at school-based interventions for one of my variables in my research question. So start thinking about your research question broadly and think about those topics kind of at a high level, and then you can kind of narrow down based on that topic. So here are some examples from previous quarters. I had one student that looked at Medicaid expansion's effect on access to women's preventive care, specifically among low-income women. I had another student that looked at factors that contribute to the environment of food deserts and obesity, specifically looking at socioeconomic status, race, and also socio-ecological factors. Another student looked at how political beliefs affect vaccination hesitancy and uptake for a specific vaccine. Another student looked at barriers to HPV vaccination acceptance and implementation in women living in Africa. Another student looked at mental health issues and barriers to care among police officers. This really was a focus on what factors influence whether or not police officers seek mental health services. And then another one was mental and physical effects of screen time among youth. So you might feel a little overwhelmed, or you might think that, oh, there's a topic that I've really been wanting to learn more about. Wherever you are at this point, you should be narrowing down the focus of your topic. The sooner you get your research question finalized, the sooner you can start working on the next steps for your literature review assignment. So start searching for the relevant literature. Make sure that your topic isn't too broad. Alternatively, make sure it's not too narrow and you're having a hard time finding any relevant papers. So I want you to be reading, summarizing, and organizing the sources you have located so far to help you identify and narrow down that research question.